Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, your work-life balance questions answered. The tiny house movement sweeping the nation, plus why you need to think EAT when building a brand. G'day and welcome to a brand new season of Kochie's Business Builders with even more tips, great advice and business success stories. Each week, I'll be joined by an expert co-host who will help me dive deeper into the real-life issues facing all small business owners. Joining me today is Adam Bubb. Adam is the head of commercial media at Pinstripe Media, my family business that produces Kochie's Business Builders. Adam has helped hundreds of Australia's leading brands create award-winning content across TV and digital. He has a unique insight into how brands and people connect authentically. Adam, good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Kochie, it's great to be here.
Now, Adam, storytelling is really pivotal in building a business brand, isn't it? You're a great believer in it. Why is it so powerful?
I just think every brand in today's world can't afford not to be a media brand. You can really let people into your brand universe, and that's something that I'm really passionate about.
Because digital allows you to connect with your tribe like never before, to give them an insight into you as a business owner or what your brand stands for in a business sense.
You can actually, if you let people in go behind the scenes and show them how the sausage is made, so to speak, people actually really want to grab onto those details.
Okay, so if there's one single bit of advice that you'd give a business owner that wants to cut through in their social media brands, what would it be?
Think about what value you can bring to someone's day. People are hungry to learn and to learn in an entertaining way.
Adam, some really great advice. Thank you for that. Now, Adam, I'm keen to get your thoughts on this small business. Tiny Bear Distillery is a local craft distillery based just outside of Melbourne. Former teacher Damien Anderson combined his passion for science with his love of gin. But building a team to support this massive growth has been challenging. Now, Adam, should he be looking at existing staff first rather than getting new ones?
God, it's such a great question, isn't it, Kochie? Look, I think finding opportunities and finding the strengths of your different staff and their passion areas is really important. That is a great first step, and then you can kind of invest in those areas with them and go, you know what, there are courses that you can do. There are, you can shadow somebody else who's doing a task that you want to learn and kind of build up that skills base.
And also, it's a sign of confidence in your staff, isn't it? Professional development to a staff member means, hey, the business owner has great faith that I can do bigger and better things. Here's an opportunity for me.
You can absolutely find opportunities to, upskill your staff. And of course, looking around at the people that they know, if all else fails and you want to find people who've got similar passions and people that they know in their networks, to, get them to kind of reach out if you're struggling to really find people.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Tap in to your staff's network, which is vast. All right, Adam, if Tiny Bear Distillery is going to continue to grow, they need some expert advice on how to upskill their staff and also make time to focus on that all-important planning. So we paired up Damien with one of the best business strategists that I know, a mate of mine, Holly Ransom. She'll unpack the challenges facing Tiny Bear and see how they can turn disruption into success.
So we're at our distillery in Knoxfield where we produce our gin and our whiskey and all our delicious spirits.
Great, can you show me how it's done?
Let's do it.
So, Damien, it's pretty incredible that, 4 years ago, none of this existed.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting the last 4 years, from a start-up to where we are now at Tiny Bear Distillery.
5 years ago, you were a teacher, right?
Yeah, I was a high school chemistry teacher. It's definitely a change of working with kids who don't want to be at school to working with adults who love what they do and bringing people in and having a lot of fun.
So why, how gin? How did Tiny Bear come to life?
I've always been obsessed with spirits. So it's not just gin, it's probably spirits overall. It's the science of how we do it is what I'm in love with first, but then the products we create is my second love.
So 4 years in, tell me about the team. How many people are working for Tiny Bear and who makes up the core team?
So we have several production staff who are distilling, bottling, labelling, and then running through tastings. And then we have a second venue, which is a bar and a bottle shop, where we've got a second spot of team, I guess, which is a craft bar, craft bottle shop. So you think cocktails, think Australian-produced spirits, Australian-produced beers, wines.
I'm just thinking about all the news that must have come into your world over the last 4 years, going from being in the classroom to running a small business. What's been the biggest challenge for you over that journey, would you say?
The biggest challenge is always finding and working with staff. There's a lot of versatility in what we do because we've got production here, we've also got front of house, we've got tastings. You can have someone who's awesome at creating a product but not the most comfortable working with customers in a market where unemployment's really quite low. It's hard to find staff. It's hard to find staff that want to do all the different things we need them to do.
And talk to me a bit about market forces. What's the competition like in your space?
The market is constantly changing. 4 years ago when we started, there was a minute amount of producers in Victoria. That number since then has probably tripled, quadrupled. So
wow.
there's a hell of a lot of movement in the Australian spirits industry. But with that increased presence, there's also increased demand for Australian-produced products.
So I'd love to delve a little bit more into the people challenges, but first I'm really eager to understand the actual process side of the business. Can you talk me through it?
Yeah, of course. So we're currently standing in front of our fermenters, but let's actually get into the distillery and I'll run you through how we do it all. So when it comes to producing gin, it's basically a three-step process. We have to ferment, which was in front of the tanks where we were before, but the backbones of it is yeast eating sugar and producing alcohol. So in those big tanks, we add those ingredients and we leave them for about 2 weeks. We then pump into these two stills here, where we basically boil the ingredients.
Gotcha.
So the alcohol boils, it turns to a gas and it travels up these columns. And we're then able to collect that gas on the other side and we're able to collect the alcohol at about 95% proof.
That whole piece you just talked us through there is pretty unique to what Tiny Bear do and how you work.
Yeah, very early on we made the decision to do every single step ourselves, and that process is quite an expensive process, but it gives us a different product. It gives us a product that is uniquely ours.
And can you tell me about the tasting room?
Yeah, so we've got a small tasting space here for about 18 seats, but we do have a bigger tasting lounge up the road where we're able to get in a lot more people and show them our products.
What's the capacity of that?
So that's 70 seats in that one compared to about 18 here.
Great. Can we go have a look?
Yeah.
Did you know that more than half of Australian business owners have not had a holiday in years? And since the pandemic, stress levels are on the rise, which means burnout and mental health issues. So is it possible to achieve work-life balance? For this week's Ask Kochie question, a viewer asked how they can prioritise balance and still get things done.
My question is, how do you schedule work-life balance into your life? I have this problem for myself as a publicist, as well as for many of my clients. Please, can you share any tips or hacks with regards to scheduling some time out and creating that work-life balance in our lives?
Carrie, thanks for joining us.
So excited to be here.
It is a question that affects so many business owners, Carrie, isn't it? What are some of your tips on how you can get the balance right?
I don't look at it in terms of balance. I look at it in terms of harmony first. So how I frame it is important to me. I need to make all those parts of my life that are important harmonise together.
So what about exercise and diet? How big a role does that play?
They're important. So I probably do 3 workouts a week. I spend a lot of time with my children playing soccer. I'm outdoors. So yeah, that's important. Sleep.
Because when you're stressed, you can just carb up and sit on the couch, can't you?
Yeah, I think whenever you're outdoors, it will give you that extra perspective or energy, maybe rest your mind, even have meetings on the go. So you can introduce little bits of well-being into your day, which don't make it too difficult.
You're still getting emails in your inbox every day telling you that you can hit page 1 of Google. I'm here to tell you that unless you are a technical website developer, forget it. SEO, dead. All right, now what we want to know about is called EAT. Expertise, authority, and trust. Google is looking for you to create content that's going to set you apart from your competition. So what they're looking for is for you to shine through your expertise by developing different forms of content, written content, blogs, videos, and think about audio, podcasting. So all of those forms of content are going to help you develop your expertise. Authority. Think about ways that you can reach out to people who deal in your industry and with your clients but aren't in competition with you. Can you get content onto their website? Can you write a blog for someone that you know? The last one is trust. The more content you have out there, the more that it's shared, Google will bump you up the rankings. Leave the technical stuff to the web developers, concentrate on creating good content that answers questions for your clients.
Now, are you ready to get back to business? Well, Kochie's Business Builders has all the expert advice you need to set your business up for success in 2023. From marketing to finance to growing your business. If you've got questions, we've got answers. So head to kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au to subscribe to our newsletter and stay up to date with all the latest small business trends you need to know to succeed.
Hi, my name's Scott Rodish. I am from Hauslein Tiny House Company, where we build tiny houses. Well, really, what inspired Hauslein is simply, it seemed like a good idea. It was starting to take off in Australia, as well as it had already been going nuts for a long time in America, and it was becoming a thing here. And also because my wife and I had built a shipping container house about 10 years ago, so that sort of precedes the whole us getting into business. Before we launched the business, I was running a small stair building company here in Port Macquarie. So that was for all sorts of shapes and sizes of stairs in new builds in this area. The name Hauslein comes from Germany. It means like a small house or a cottage. If you want a tiny house built, ready to go to live in, you can go onto our website and you can pick all the options out of 3 different basic models that we have. We can offer variations of those models to suit your needs, and we can also deliver the site and set up. A high percentage of our customers actually buy our tiny houses and we'll deliver them, and they either haven't met us or even seen our product. Probably the obvious thing that makes us different to other manufacturers is we use all solid timbers in our build, even the structural stuff that you don't see, and then all of the feature timbers that you see around me, they are all solid fair dinkum Australian cypress. We really try to put a lot of love into material choice as well as the quality of our builds. Idea being that we really want people to live in these things and really enjoy them for many, many years, you know. So the most rewarding part of my job is the fact that we have the opportunity to just do good, honest work and provide a good, honest product that people can really love and enjoy, and it's beautiful. And I live in one myself, so you know I really get the benefit from that, as well as the atmosphere in our workshop and with our team. Something that we try to really concentrate on at Hauslein is to have a healthy work culture as well as a healthy, good quality product. The best piece of business advice someone I think ever gave me was essentially aim high, land halfway. You know, if you aim low, you'll shoot low. You know, so I guess it's to be ambitious.
Hi, I'm Richard Turner. I'm the author of The Essential Entrepreneur, and I'm going to give you my tips on starting up a business because, unfortunately, I see too many businesses fail when they shouldn't. So the first one is you must validate your business model, which means you must go out and test it and make sure there's a customer that's willing to pay the price for your product or service. So going out and talking to people in the market that you're targeting. asking the open-ended questions like, what do you think of this product? And listen. They will give you information about, I love it, but can it do this? Can it come in this size? Could it be this colour? So listen to those things, revise the product, and you get that nice product market fit. Because I unfortunately see people who have spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on products there's no customer for. The next tip is about developing a startup business plan. I remember sitting down with my accountant for hours and hours going over how many of these units do I have to sell for, how much, what's my profit, understanding my true cost of goods, what products and services am I selling, what customers and markets am I selling to, what infrastructure do I need, what people, what technology, what physical assets, what desks, warehouses, what do I need, and how am I going to finance that? They're really important things to think through, get that 1-year action plan and that 3-year business plan. So that's my tips for a startup. I wish you all the best on your journey.
We're back to see how our business expert, Holly Ransom, can help Tiny Bear Distillery owner Damien Anderson.
So tell me about where we are now.
So we're sitting upstairs at Tiny's Bar and Bottle Shop. This is our upstairs bar, where it kind of does a little bit of the tasting for the distillery, but it also functions as a cocktail lounge.
And so what business problem did this solve, or what opportunity was this seizing for you?
So this gave our customers a place to come to us outside of our hours of the distillery. So this is open late at night, this is open, Tuesday to Sunday, and it also increases the profit margin on the products that we make.
What's keeping you up at night at the moment?
Cash flow would be my number one thing that keeps me awake at night. It's great in spring through to, February when the weather's good, because people are out drinking, people are out having a good time. But then when you get into the leaner times, you've still got the same amount of staff you want to keep on. You've still got expensive expenses. If anything, production increases because we've got the staff to do it, which mean then production costs increase.
And you've been saying as well to me that it's really been a new level of people challenge since the start of the year with just the difficulty getting staff.
Yeah, difficult getting staff, and then those that you can get, training, and it's very hard to do that across 2 different spaces.
And so is the challenge attracting staff full stop, or is it retaining staff?
I would say it's attracting staff, so attracting the right staff members who are open to being a jack of all trades, and then once we've got them, we're building up that strength, building up that communication, building up that ability to work in a really diverse environment.
And from a people standpoint, how are you trying to tackle the difficulty on the staff shortage at the moment? What's the strategy?
Create an environment that is something that people want to work in.
So I think to close out today, there'd be 2 things that'd be really great to focus on during my next visit. One would be, I think it would be great to have a conversation around this kind of strategic discipline, for the want of a better phrase. So we talked about cash flow challenges, the different opportunities you have ahead of you now for growth. It'd be really useful to bring some of the leadership team together and have that conversation around, okay, what do we want to put our eggs in the baskets of, and what do we want to actually put a line through? In saying no to these things, we can truly say yes to what we believe will be the drivers of our growth over the next couple of years. So I think that would be a really great conversation. The second would be delving in with some of your staff, and I encourage you to do this in the lead up to our conversation. What's their why for being a part of the Tiny Bear Distillery family? And are there nuggets of gold in there, and why they love their job, and why they get out of bed, and why they see there being great benefit working across the 2 sites that we can think about using as part of the storytelling of the brand, and actually not just making it about the product, but also making it about the team and the experience that people can come in and be a part of. So I think that would be a really helpful way of starting to change the situation that you're having with some of the staff shortages by just letting it be known a little bit more about what the experience is actually like to be a part of the team here.
Yeah, awesome. I think that would make logical sense, and I think it's a direction we do need to take.
Well, it looks like Damien is in good hands, and I can't wait to see how Holly can help the business move forward when she revisits the team at Tiny Bear Distillery in the future. Adam, it's been great to have you in front of the camera on the show this time, and all your advice that you give all the rest of our clients. But the takeout from Tiny Bear Distillery really is culture is so important, and Damien shouldn't be shy about sharing it with his tribe either.
Yeah, he can share it and tell them those changes and communicate and be transparent. But it isn't just about telling; it's also showing.
Yeah.
It's very much a creating a culture of recognition and shout outs. There's a lot of things you can do to make people feel special.
And shout it out to your customers as well.
Yeah.
Let them know what you're doing. Adam, good to see you, mate. And remember, if you're looking for more tips on the latest news that affects your business, then you can find everything you need online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow Kochie's Biz on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter. See you next time. Next week on Kochie's Business Builders, the website secrets that will keep customers coming back for more. We reveal the Aussie innovation that makes homegrown veggies as easy as 1, 2, 3. Plus, why podcasting could help build your brand.